The Herd, wherever you may be and however you may be listening, live in Los Angeles. Welcome to The Herd, brought to you by Firestone. Complete auto care. Keep your car running. Newer, longer. 7-8 minutes. We're going to have a major announcement on the show. Don't go anywhere. Christine Leahy's joining me.
Hey there.
On the show today. Christine Leahy is joining me on the show today. And in 7 minutes, I have a major announcement. Let me start with this.
With LeBron?
Yeah, let me start with this. He plays tonight.
It's appropriate.
So I picked Cleveland and LeBron to win this series against Indiana in 5, and then I went off the rails. I went into the weeds, and for like an hour and a half fell in love with the Pacers and said, Pacers are going to win. And then I got a good night's sleep, came back and went, what are you thinking? I mean, Indiana, the Pacers are the Raptors, are the Bucks, are the Wizards, are Miami, they're not ready to hold the baton. I talked about it earlier this week. Life doesn't offer you the baton very often to be the man. So when it does, you better be ready. You better have your stuff together. Indiana had a chance, leading 2-1, had the ball, had the lead, 4.5 to go. Game was there. LeBron in the ropes. They did what Toronto does, what Milwaukee's going to do, what Indiana, what Washington. They dropped the baton. So I'm going to pick LeBron to win tonight and win the series. But I'm going to ask you to do another homework assignment. I'm a very demanding teacher because I asked you to do one last night with Philadelphia. I'm going to ask you when you watch Cleveland to do another homework assignment and watch the body language of LeBron and how frustrated he gets. He is frustrated with his team. He now is relying on Kevin Love, who is now regularly hurt and is hurt again. George Hill, cross your fingers, hope he plays. Kyle Korver can shoot, not much else. Watch the body language. Watch, during moments of crisis, how the team is overwhelmingly constructed for LeBron to have to make the play on not just one end, on both ends. That is unfair and a burden in your 15th year you don't want to have to deal with. LeBron likes being the man. He doesn't like being the only man. So my homework assignment tonight, watch LeBron's frustration in moments with his teammates. Now, my first homework assignment was with the Sixers last night. And I said to you, when you watch the Sixers beat Miami, which we predicted, that came into fruition, right? I said, Ben Simmons' style is never going to work with LeBron. It's not. LeBron is a 6'9", ball-centric, control-the-game forward who's really a point guard. Ben Simmons is a 6'10", could be a forward, doesn't shoot particularly well, so he needs the ball to be successful, point guard. They simply do not work together. This idea that everybody works together is simply not true. You shouldn't have two people get married and both are completely frugal. You're going to have no life. Somebody's got to argue for an expensive vacation. And you shouldn't have two people that get married and they're both crazy spenders. You don't want to end up 58 years old and a nickel in the bank. Like, fit matters. How do you work with others? I love Ben Simmons, and I've adored LeBron for a decade. They don't work together. LeBron, in his 16th year, by the way, is not suddenly going to say, hey, you know what? I'll go be a spot-up shooter. I'll change my game in my 16th year to make sure Ben Simmons is happy. It doesn't work that way. It doesn't work that way. LeBron still sees himself and should as the man, as the best overall player in the league, and he is not going to go to Philadelphia and become Ben Simmons' valet, Ben Simmons' lackey. It's not going to work. And by the way, he's not going to not only go do a Pippen and let Simmons be MJ, but basically LeBron is the opposite of the process, which has been so fun, right, in Philadelphia? Here's Philadelphia baking these cookies perfectly, right? LeBron's going to come in and go, take them out of the oven, put them in a microwave, let's get them done. The process is working. They're close to becoming great. Let it work. Let me segue into this to another team that's not great, but I think will be the greatest next year. I tweeted this last night. The Boston Celtics are going to be so good next year. Next year, I truly believe the Boston Celtics will beat the Golden State Warriors. I do. And become NBA champions. And there's something happening with the Celtics, which may be uncomfortable and difficult in the moment, but I've seen it happen with families. That dad gets hurt, and you rely on the teenage sons at 13 and 14 to have to be more responsible and grow up quickly. This happens all over America. The boys probably aren't quite ready for it, but dad got hurt, dad's not here, dad left, dad, something bad happened to dad, and mom needs help. And that's what's happening in Boston. They didn't want Gordon Hayward to get hurt, and they didn't want Kyrie Irving to get hurt. But it has forced 19-year-old Jason Tatum and second-year Jaylen Brown to be grown-ups, to carry the load, probably a year before they're ready. And man, is it gonna pay off. Boston is gonna be so good next year. It is amazing. It is remarkable. They are this viable, having lost the best finisher in the league in Kyrie Irving and an all-star at forward in the West who's now in the East, Gordon Hayward. Not to mention they've had injuries on their bench. There are 4 reasons, and I say this confidently, I think they will be NBA champs next year. Number 1, they have the best head coach in the NBA in Brad Stevens. Are you watching the Oklahoma City-Utah series? Let me ask you, you think coaching matters? It does in the playoffs. It's possession basketball. They have the best head coach in the league. I believe next year, unless Philly goes after a Paul George, they may not have the depth of Philly, but they'll have the best starting 5 in the East. I mean, are you kidding me? Kyrie Irving, Jaylen Brown's now a shooter. Jason Tatum, Gordon Hayward, Al Horford, that's the best starting 5 in the East. Number 3, and I've been saying this, dynasties don't last as long as you think. Golden State has absolutely peaked. We're already seeing fatigue. Steph Curry's got another injury. It'll be their 5th straight trip to the finals. They will be as vulnerable as they have been in half a decade. And number 4, could be a real easy East. There's a chance LeBron, they're never going to face him. They're not going to face him in the regular season. And he ain't getting through Houston and Golden State. They're not going to face him in the finals. My 4 reasons, I think next year, if Kyrie's knee gets cleaned up, they're my favorite to win the NBA championship. All right, major announcement on the show. I've been doing this for a long, long time. And I've always thought, whether it's producers or bosses, I've always said, don't chase money, chase management, chase people. Because there's a sea of money, but there's not a sea. There's a finite number of great people. And for 25 years, I have been incredibly lucky that I have been surrounded by great people. Now here's the downside. They all eventually leave me. The only person that hasn't left me is my wife, and she's getting annoyed, and Christine, who today officially has upgraded from the herd. Christine, who has worked at Fox and will be a part of our family forever, and CBS, and she's worked at NBC, and she still has like 19 jobs and spends her weekends in Vegas this weekend working at other jobs, has a new show. It'll be on this network. It will be at some point after this show, though I'm not sure. I don't have the official numbers. But what happens to Christine is what has happened. In television, great people get opportunities. You're great. You've got one. You took it, and I couldn't be prouder.
Yeah. So I'm really excited. I'm going to have a new show starting at the end of the summer, beginning of the fall. I'll be hosting it. But I'm so thankful. This is crazy that this is happening. I'm going to lose it. I promised I wouldn't lose my beep on this, but I will. We were the first ones in kind of this new thing at FS1. And I remember the lunch that you and I had together and starting this, and you took a huge risk because this was your show. You hadn't had this role before, and now you do, and that was a risk, and I just can't thank you enough.
105% growth since you came on the show. What people may not realize is that 3 out of 4 weekends you don't hang out, you go work.
No, I work.
So
I work, but I'm just so thankful for this, that you've allowed me to be myself, and that's all I can ask for.
I do wish you liked LeBron more. I'm not going to lie about it.
I don't. I wish you liked Russell Westbrook, but you've allowed me to be me, and that's all I really want to be on TV, and I wouldn't have this opportunity now without you, and I'm just so thankful to the staff, and I'll probably do my goodbyes tomorrow. Tomorrow's my last day, but it never felt like work to me. This just felt like fun, and coming to work and debating you, and I've disagreed with you a lot, but it's been amazing, and this is crazy, but I'm excited for the next adventure.
And I'm excited for you. We felt fortunate to have you, Christine Leahy, and we like balloons and cake
gosh.
on this show. We're big believers of balloons and cake.
Wait, is there Cardi B on the cake?
What?
You guys.
Now, I have not seen this. They told me.
This is
Hold on.
amazing. Oh my. Look at
What is
us at the first Super Bowl together. Oh wait, remember this day? I found you in the elevator. That was the last time you had tape on your mouth. After that, it was all talking. And Cardi B, who I'm obsessed with. And the Celtics.
America's Ninja Warrior, a new show on this network. You've got
Yeah.
about a dozen esports conventions you'll be hosting, and you told me
you'll
this
see
morning.
me around.
Yeah,
You'll see me.
Literally, you've worked for everybody but Bravo. So I mean, you've worked.
Maybe I'll work for Bravo too.
Anyway.
But I hope you watch my new show.
Well, I will. It's on this network, so I will.
Well, you don't watch my other show, so I'm hoping that maybe I can
they're
get
on
you to
rival
watch
networks. I don't watch other rival. I watch one network all day. So let's hear it for Christine Leahy. We'll take a break. Roger Goodell. Back in a second. The Herd.
Thanks.
Ronaldo and Real Madrid face off with Lewandowski and Bayern Munich. UEFA Champions League semifinals first.